Hello everyone friends. We have already talked to you about the main antagonists of Part 3, Catnap and Prototype. But little was said about the evil two, Mummy Longlegs. Enough is known about this character. How did it influence Part 3? Who is she? And what did she need? Let's talk about this today. But before that, friends, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, give likes, and write comments. Here we go. Mummy Longlegs, otherwise referred to as Experiment 1222 or Marie Payne seen on the transfer request, is a toy produced by Playtime Colorado, who debuted in Chapter 2 Fly in a Web. As its main antagonist, the beginning of Chapter 2, Mummy Longlegs presented herself with a warm and welcoming front to lure the player into participating in her games. This facade, however, diminished very quickly as she threatened the player with death and the possibility of having their innards consumed by her, should they refuse to abide by her commands. Throughout the variety of games the player has to play in to win and survive, Mummy Longlegs displays a sinister mix of childlike friendliness and mentally unhinged, making her movements unpredictable. She tends to mask her frustrations with a friendly, childlike facade of growing anger, such as when the player wins yet another game of hers, or when the player escapes from the statue's game area, causing Mummy to desperately try luring the player back into the game area with the false promise of giving them the train code, while increasingly getting furious and violent. In the transfer request document, Mummy was revealed to be hostile towards the scientists and personnel of Playtime Co. Her hostility to the scientists also extends to any workers that are affiliated with Playtime Co., regardless of work position. In contrast to her behavior towards the workers, she is shown to be motherly and caring, even protective to other experiment subjects. Her motherly personality also extends to children, as the document stated that alongside boosting her morale, it is unlikely that Mummy will turn hostile in front of them. Despite the stated motherly nature in the documents, she does not showcase so in the events of Chapter 2, as she will kill her own minions if they fail to kill the player, like Bunzo Bunny and the Mini Huggies, although PJ Pugapilla was spared. This shows how she does not tolerate failures. It appears that Mummy Longlegs deeply feared one particular experiment, Experiment 1006, the prototype. As she is dragged into the grinder, she screams in agony, "He'll make me part of him," implying she understood what his goal is. Mummy Longlegs was originally created in 1991 as a way to test Playtime Co.'s new elastic plastic. She was created from the orphan Marie Payne and designated as Experiment 1222. While she was extremely hostile toward the scientists, she acted warm and motherly toward the other Bigger Bodies Initiative experiments, functioning as their protector. The scientists eventually decided that she was the perfect host for guiding and soothing the children throughout their time within the game station. Despite her conditioning, she was still hostile to the staff, so they maintained a 20-yard distance away from her and had Stella Graber create intercom recordings to inform the children about their next game. Throughout the events of Chapter 2, Mummy Longlegs ropes the player into participating multiple games, in which she claimed that she will hand pieces of the train code if they win the games. Mummy Longlegs, however, does everything in her power to prevent the player from winning and killing them in the end, such as rigging the games which the player is forced to participate in. For example, the Wacka-Wuggy game originally had strings attached to the Mini Huggies, which would keep them from attacking the participant if they got too close. But Mummy removed those restraints, ensuring the player's death if they couldn't keep the toys at bay. Mummy Longlegs seemed to have an extreme ego, yet also suffers from attachment issues, as she boastfully claimed that the children she guided around the game station referred to her as Mummy, as she concluded that she is the closest thing that they have to a maternal figure, yet continued with saying that the children left her to die after finishing all the games, as they only had interests in the games, but not Mummy herself. At the finale of the chapter, Mummy Longlegs has completely gone deranged and insane, as her voice constantly switches from high-pitched tones to aggressive loud ones, and her limbs also extend to freakish angles and abnormally long lengths. Her eyes also dilate to complete pitch black. Throughout this section, Mummy Longlegs becomes very hostile and is constantly in search of the player, trying to kill them at all attempts, becoming incredibly reckless as she accidentally got herself stuck in a grinder, something which the player took advantage of to put an end into her rampage. Through the multiple times she chases down the player, she can be heard laughing sinisterly in a booming low voice. And I'll leave it at that. Friends, thank you for watching. This is what the antagonist of part 2 of the game was like. Terrible and crazy mummy long legs. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also write comments. Thank you and bye.